Not everyone who trains Jiu Jitsu is trying to be a warrior. Some people just want to show up, break a sweat, and have a little fun. And guess what? That's perfectly okay. Some train with their kids, some train with their spouses or significant others. Some are coming back from injury, divorce, depression, or just a rough stretch of life. They're not trying to dominate or be a modern-day samurai. They're just trying to feel alive again. And despite all my talk about real-world readiness and martial development, I want to make one thing crystal clear. If you're showing up consistently, with care, with humility, and with steady effort, that's still real jiu-jitsu. You don't need to be a combat-ready killer to be valid. And you don't need a grand martial philosophy to belong on those mats. And you sure as hell don't need my permission to train in a way that suits you best. Because this art is big enough for all of us. The warrior and the guy who just wants to get off the sofa. And that's what we're talking about today. Why showing up just to have fun is reason enough. And the enormous benefits that mindset unlocks. Welcome to the Alchemy of Struggle, baby. So let's talk about this idea of just having fun, because I think many of us might be too quick to dismiss it. Not everyone is interested in being some kind of modern-day samurai. Some of you just want to move and feel healthy again, without the drudgery of a damn treadmill or stair climber. Maybe even as a way to reconnect with a part of yourself that you thought no longer existed. For you, fun isn't a side effect, it's the whole damn point. And let's be brutally honest here for a second. For all the talk about being a weapon on two legs, most of us spend our time sitting behind a desk, myself included. And for those of you who are quick to say, I'm no pencil pusher, I work for a living. Look, digging ditches and pouring concrete doesn't exactly make you a village samurai either. You also live a pretty soft life once that shovel hits the ground and you lay back in your recliner with the beer in one hand and the remote in the other. So focusing on fun doesn't make your jiu-jitsu less real. In fact, that kind of training might be more honest than half the people out there trying to win every round. Because fun is sustainable. It keeps you coming back when you're injured, trying to get through that plateau, or struggling with the kind of self-doubt that tortures all of us. So if you're training just for fun and not to compete or to be a warrior walking around in a suit, you're not doing it wrong. You're just doing it in your own way. And there are tremendous benefits to that approach. Let's break them down. Well, first, let's talk about the obvious mental health benefits. There are days that you show up completely stressed, completely burned out mentally. Yet, you get on those mats and you leave it all behind. Because jiu-jitsu is one of those unique activities that requires your full attention. And when you're on those mats, you're thinking about nothing else but what's immediately in front of you. It forces you into the present and out of your own head. Next, there are the obvious physical benefits. You're moving your body in the way that you never have before. You're sweating, you're stretching, you're learning complex techniques, which improves your brain. And we've talked about how jiu-jitsu rewires your brain and reshapes your body. You're building mobility, coordination, and even strength without chasing PRs or six-pack abs. Then there's the social connection. We've talked in previous videos about how the grappling arts are unique in the way they build bonds between training partners. When you go through that shared struggle, it builds connections in ways that other aspects of life do not come close. Next, there's that quiet confidence that comes from knowing that you're learning something that most people have no clue about, and that underneath it all, you can probably take care of yourself in a dicey situation. You walk a little bit taller. You deal with life's little stressors a little bit easier. You stop letting things pile up inside of you, because now you have a release valve. There are even those days where you don't feel like going to jiu-jitsu because life has just beat you down so much. But you go anyway. You drag yourself there. And as soon as you step on those mats, you feel a lot better. And this is probably one of the best benefits. Jiu-jitsu is one of those keystone habits. A keystone habit is an activity that's so pivotal that it leads to other positive activities in your life. So jiu-jitsu starts fixing other things without you realizing it. You decide, you know what? My jiu-jitsu would be a lot better if I got better sleep. My jiu-jitsu would be a lot better if I ate a little better. My jiu-jitsu would be a lot better if I drank less alcohol. My jiu-jitsu would be better if I started doing mobility work, a little bit of strength training. And before you know it, you don't have just the habit of jiu-jitsu. You've developed a dozen other habits that improve your life in significant ways far away from the mat. All because of this original habit. It cascades and it compounds. Next, you develop a purpose. Some people might scoff at this idea, but think about this for a minute. So many people nowadays have lost that sense of purpose. They live inside of this house shaped like a box. In the morning, they get inside of a car shaped like a box, drive to a building shaped like a box, and sit inside of a cubicle shaped like a box. And they just drudge on through life, drudge on through work, day after day after day. Go home, eat, sleep, get up the next morning, and do it all over again. And then they start doing jiu-jitsu, and it breathes new life into them. Sometimes that training is the thing that gets you through the week. Just knowing that you have jiu-jitsu that night, it gets you through your day. It gives you something positive to chase. That next armbar, that next rear naked choke, that next win. Most people, unfortunately, will never have that kind of purpose. You get it just by showing up and having fun doing jiu-jitsu. So yeah, just showing up to train, even if just to have fun, can change your life in all the ways that really matter. I know I spend a lot of time talking about martial purpose and all of that philosophical mumbo jumbo. But come on, I haven't been in a real fight since I was in the Marines more than 30 years ago. And that's probably true for most of you watching this video. That doesn't make our jiu-jitsu training less real. It just means your reasons for training might evolve. Check out this comment from Fat Ninja Truckin'. He's not looking to add anything new to his jiu-jitsu in order to make his combat readiness more efficient. The guy says he doesn't even like fighting. He's just looking to have fun and to better himself. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But here's the bonus. Even when you're just training for fun, you're building the kind of habits that really matter in chaotic situations. You're learning timing. You're learning how to stay calm under pressure, how to move when your body's tired and when your mind wants to quit. And if chaos does happen to show up uninvited, all of those fun rolls, that's when they really count. You'll know how to defend, how to escape, and how to get yourself out of harm's way. So even if combat readiness isn't your real goal, you're still becoming dangerous in the background. Quietly, consistently, all without obsessive behavior. You become a warrior, even if you never intended to be one. So if you're here for fun, for health, for connection, you still belong here. You're not missing anything and you're not less than. You're still doing real jiu-jitsu. And if anyone ever makes you feel otherwise, just remember this. There's more than one way to walk this path, and you don't need anyone's permission to walk it in your own way. And if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you check out the video on how jiu-jitsu rewires the brain and reshapes the body. It goes more into detail into some of the cognitive benefits of training jiu-jitsu. And if you have a question, or if there's a particular topic that you want me to tackle, send a message to the email on the screen. I read every email and I read every comment on these videos. And as always, I want to thank the subscribers and the commenters. You are the reason the content on this channel is so engaging, because it comes directly from your engaging thoughts and ideas. But remember, there are others who need this message, so let's help them find it. Like, share, and subscribe. Keep up the good fight and stay safe on those mats. Peace.